Thank you for watching or listening to the ASB Author Showcase, spotlighting authors from around the world. ASB Author Showcase is produced by Author School of Business, an author-owned organization helping authors to fully understand the business side of being an author. If you would like to be on the show or to be a sponsor of the show, simply email us at authorschool@outlook.com. Your hostess for today's show is Mary Ann Faremouth.
Welcome to this episode of the Author Showcase. My name is Mary Ann Faremouth, and I feel privileged and honored to have a guest on this show that's helped so many authors become successful, me included. B Alan Bourgeois' writing career began at age 12, but it wasn't until 1989 that his writing career really took a formal turn at the college level. In 2011, Bourgeois founded the Texas Authors Association to help authors better market and sell their books. Alan has recently expanded his platform and developed the Authors School of Business, held conferences, contests, and seminars, and to date has written 35 books and won numerous writing awards. Today, however, we're going to focus on his top 10 book series that provide a myriad of important tips and strategies in these transitory and changing times. With so many people these days, during and post-COVID, wanting to become authors, I think what Alan has to offer and what he's done is invaluable, and people need to know about it. So, without further ado, and after this incredibly long introduction, please help me welcome Alan Bourgeois. Alan, say hello to everybody.
Hey, hi, Mary Ann. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, it's great to have you. And, Alan, you've done so much for so many in the writing world. And I know personally you've helped me expand my writing career. But tell us about the top 10 book series that provide so much invaluable information for authors and why you decided to do this.
Well, looking over the years, helping authors for the last 13 years, we've helped over well over a couple hundred authors over the years. And it seemed that there was always the need for better understanding of certain subject matters within the writing aspect, most specifically about after you've written the manuscript. What authors need to understand about the business side, about logistics, about publishing, all of those things that help them actually become more successful. So I started off just writing first the book of 100 plus questions an writer should ask. And from that, then I started breaking it down. And that's where the top 10 series came in. These are short, simple books, roughly about 60 to 70 pages of information, easy to read, 1 or 2 pages per each of the top 10 items in each of the books. So it's quick, easy information that helps them to get the better understanding of what's going on, to figure out how to move forward in their writing career. And then, through the school, of course, we offer more detailed classes that they can always participate in, such as our authors marketing event, our online video campus, and so much more. And as a consultant, I'm always happy to work one-on-one with authors through my company, Bourgeois Media and Consulting, to help them better understand what to do and help map out exactly the steps they need to take and stuff. But this quick top 10 series is meant to make it easy, simple to read about all the different levels in writing. There's a total of 24 books that help them through that process.
Well, Alan, I started writing in 2014, and I wish I would have had something like this to have at my fingertips because, as we both know, the journey of a writer is an interesting one. But if you had, books like this available to you, I think it would really expedite the process of becoming successful. And, you've got so many great titles here. I mean, I'm just going to name a few of them, but, the top 10 things successful authors do. I mean, top 10 keys to the business writing. I mean, this one's front and center right now, Alan. 10 AI programs, apps authors should use. 10 steps to finding the right editor. I mean, this is invaluable. I mean, I cannot tell you I've only written two nonfiction books. I've written, 5 short stories that are anthology books, but um, I really feel like if I had something like this that I could turn to, I might have written a lot more and maybe won a lot more contests. So tell us about, which one, if somebody was saying, coming to you, Alan, and saying, Alan, I'm thinking I want to become an author. What's the first book you tell them to read?
Well, from the top 10 series, I would definitely recommend the first one, the most important one, and that is the top 10 things successful authors do. That helps give that foundation for any writer who wants to be able to continue to grow and make this into a career, help understand exactly what they're doing in the process they're doing it in, and following what other successful authors have done. So it makes it easier on them in the long run. And then, of course, going through all the other items, why top 10 advantages for indie authors versus traditional authors. What are the advantages? What are the disadvantages? A lot of people think that to be a writer these days, and this is a carry on from hundreds of years of belief, that you have to go that traditional route to be successful, and you don't anymore. Especially for the last 20 years, that's no longer the case. And we see more and more. And so in this book, it helps outline the advantages to be self-publisher, an indie author versus a traditional. And that's those two are really good foundations to help any writer figure out what they want to do and whether or not this is for them.
Yeah, I think this is amazing. I mean, I really wish I had this many years ago. But the other thing I'm thinking about, Alan, and correct me if I'm wrong, I'm hearing so much now about AI. And in fact, I am a nationally syndicated columnist. I write for a publication, and one of my publicist said to me, why don't you use AI? I mean, do you think that's going to be more and more front and center in the author world, Alan?
Oh, yes. And this book specifically is about productive tools that help the author become a better writer, better author and stuff. But in the term of the AI overall, yes, we already know there's been 40 books so far published through AI only. The writer simply gives a command, and then the AI continues on from that point on. So that's going to be a major issue for authors to consider. But as far as tools such as Canva, Greenly, so many others that help utilize the AI concept to help become a better writer. So yeah, that definitely is a valuable tool in that context. But unfortunately, as I've said, so far 40 books have been written strictly from AI.
One of the things here that I thought was really good, one of these books that you talk about here is 10 ways to brand yourself as an author. And I think that's really important, Alan. I think, to be branding yourself as an author, I think certainly would help you move forward in the sales area. I mean, tell us how a little bit about that. I mean, branding. It seems like it's kind of a real important thing. Don't you agree?
It is. It definitely is an important thing. And it's the book's, it's basically explaining what branding is for an author and why that's important, and then how to lay it out on the top 10 steps to become a successful author using branding. And branding is, how do you use your newsletter? How do you build a reader's list? How do you build your website, concept? Everything that comes together, everything that is the communication portal out there that represents you, how it all works together to give people an understanding of who you are and what you're about. And sometimes that's a little hard because there are some authors that do have their set books they write, and then they have their pen name. And I know some authors have 3 or 4 pen names because of the different types of things. So you have to look at the branding for each one as an individual type thing. But most importantly, you as an author, what is it that makes you tick? What is it that you present to the reading community, the writing community, and represents your storylines? That's really what it comes down to. Who are you and what do you present?
No, I think that's invaluable because I think you can have the best book out there, Alan, but if you don't know how to brand yourself and people don't know about you, it doesn't matter. Nobody's going to find you. So I think this book is probably a real important one for anybody that's an author or wants to become one. The other thing I thought was great here, this book you have is 10 Steps to Create an Author Platform. I think that goes hand in hand with branding, doesn't it? Tell us a little bit about that.
It definitely does. And the platform, again, is representing who you are. How are you going to reach out to the world of readers, not only in the United States, but around the world? Because now publishing is a worldwide thing. And so what your book, you may think, well, only my southern region of the United States might read it. Surprise, people from all over the world will read it. Matter of fact, these books already have been sold in Italy, Germany, London, Canada, or excuse me, England, Canada, the US, of course. I mean, every so often I just keep seeing countries popping up on my sales reports, where they're buying the books. So that's a clear indication of your book is no longer just restricted to a certain area. It represents the world. And yes, of course, these books are meant for any writer around the world. And it goes the same for whether you're writing a fiction ghost story or a romance story. These things can go and be read around the world.
Yeah, well, I think that's wonderful. And I want to say, I'm a member of Alan's Authors Marketing International organization. And I have to say, that's given me a real advantage because I've been able to sell books internationally. And I think that, Alan not only has written these 10 great books, these top 10 books, but he has a platform that helps us expand to different areas. And I think that's something important.
Each and every one of us has a mission in life. Mine is to help people laugh through the good times and the bad. My name is Charlotte Canyon, and I'm an author, a speaker, and a host on Indie Beacon Radio. If you need me to speak at an event or autograph my book, you can contact me at charlotte@charlottecanyon.com. Thank you, and have a blessed day.
Looking to take your writing career to the next level? Look no further than 100 plus questions a writer/author should ask. With over 100 questions curated by award-winning author and speaker B Alan Bourgeois, the founder and CEO of the Authors School of Business, this book is a must-have for any aspiring or established writer. Bourgeois, a seasoned publisher, author advocate, and educator, brings his wealth of experience to the table to help you better understand the publishing world and succeed in your career. Don't miss out on this valuable resource. Get an additional bonus of a 1-month free subscription to the Authors School of Business valued at $12.95.
Mary Ann Faremouth is a career consultant with 30 years' experience in the national recruiting world, a multi-award-winning author in multi-genres, and a speaker that gives presentations to help you succeed. Her book, Revolutionary Recruiting, made the top 20 global list of recruiting books. Find her on Amazon, your favorite bookstore, or at Faremouth.com.
Are you a poet looking for an opportunity to showcase your talent and win exciting prizes? Look no further than the Authors School of Business Poetry Contest.
Join a community of talented poets and get your work recognized by industry professionals. This is your chance to take your poetry career to the next level.
Our contest is open to poets of all ages and backgrounds, and we welcome poems in any style or genre. So whether you're a seasoned writer or just starting out, we want to hear your voice.
Visit our website to learn more about the contest rules and how to submit your work. Don't miss out on this incredible opportunity to showcase your poetry and win amazing prizes.
Join the Authors School of Business Poetry Contest and become a part of a community that celebrates the beauty and power of poetry.
Welcome back to the ASB Author Showcase with your hostess, Mary Ann Faremouth.
Welcome back to the Author Showcase. My name is Mary Ann Faremouth, and we were with B Alan Bourgeois today. Alan, thank you for being on the show. It's great to have you here. You know, Alan, there's an old saying, you can't judge a book by its cover, but I don't think that's true. I think the cover is very, very important. And I think one of your top 10 books you have here is, 10 mistakes authors make creating a book cover. Talk to us a little bit about that, because I think that's a really important part of the whole process.
Yes, your book cover screams out what the book's about and stuff. In this particular case, using the top 10 series, I created a design for every book to be pretty much identical. The only difference, of course, is the title, but also the colors that I use. So I try to use as much of the rainbow colors as I could, alternating and stuff, but trying to keep the design, the flow of the cover itself exactly the same for every one, so that people, when they're at different bookstores or events and stuff and happen to see it, they know it's part of that collection. Much like you would say for The Perfect Guide for Idiots and stuff. Your book cover explains to the world in a very quick way of what the book's about. Is it a love story? Is it a romance? Ghosts? Paranormal, all that type of stuff, that cover really represented. And it's now even more important because of the NFT programs that are coming up. I mean, a book cover is no longer going to be stagnant. It's going to be a moving item. And, your new bookshelves are going to be electronic, showing the book cover itself moving and being basically a movie, a short little movie, to get people hooked into what the story is about.
Yeah, with all these changes that are going on right now in the world, I think that, having a series of books like this that you can refer to be up to date, have state-of-the-art information, I think is invaluable. One of the books, too, that I think is really a great book here is this one, Top 10 Keys to the Business of Writing, because I think writing is a business, but also, Alan, I think writing, it's a business, but it's also a way for us to expand our careers and expand who we are. I think, I'll say myself from, when I started writing in 2014, I think having this writing in my background has helped me become a better Mary Ann, a better person. But not only that, it's helped me in my job too. So talk to us about this 10 keys to the business of writing. Are you talking about as far as how to monetize the writing aspect, or what is that book about?
Yeah, it definitely does include the monetizing of being a writer and all the different ways you can have your book be a revenue source. But it's more specifically about what it means to be a writer these days. In my book, The Author's Revolution Workbook, we had a spreadsheet in there that outlined all the expenses of being an author entails. And so we dive into that a little bit more with this book to help people understand the logistics, the legal aspect of being a writer. Just having your name doesn't mean anything unless it's properly documented. Is it incorporated? Is it just a DBA? Who's going to be inheriting the books when you pass on? Are you donating books to nonprofit for a purpose or anything like this? What are the true expenses of being a writer? You got to think of every time you go to a book festival, your mileage, the cost of the book festival itself, the food you're eating, the hotel you're staying at, the cost of printing, the cost of signing a graphic artist, an editor. All those expenses add into what being an author is about. And a lot of people don't realize that it's too late. They've spent so much money on the book and they're not getting sales from it. That's because they don't understand or really recognize that they've created a new business by writing that book. And that business can grow and become very successful or it can die and wither, which we've seen so many authors have that happen to.
Yeah, I've seen it too. And I think another thing too, Alan, I think our books sometimes are our calling card, they just enhance what we do. But I think we can write the best book, we can have the best cover. But I think this next book I'm about to mention is probably, in my opinion, really, really important. And that is Top 10 Steps to Market Mastery for Authors, because you can have the best book in the world, but if you don't know how to market that book, you're in trouble. And I think that's one thing that's really helped me in associating with Alan and all of his different platforms and programs that he offers, because marketing is really key. Yes, you got to have a good book. Yes, you have to have good content. Yes, you have to have a good cover. But if you don't know how, or you don't have someone like Alan aligned with you to help you market it, you're not going to be as successful as you could be. So talk to us about this book, because this book to me is really, really important.
Yeah, the subject of marketing for authors is really critical. Matter of fact, we have 3 separate books about this. The mastery is to better understand what marketing is and how to make sure you fully embrace it. Writing the manuscript, that's only 10% of the work. The other 90% is marketing. If you're not out there promoting the book in some form, people are not going to learn about it. I mean, it's amazing to watch that this year, for example, 1.4 million books in the United States alone are being published this year. And last year was 1.3, per year before 1.2. So you can see it continuously growing, but that's just the United States. Now imagine the world. I think the last count for this year was close to 500 million books being published this year. So that's huge competition that you have to deal with. And yes, your authors can be your best friend, and that's part of networking, but you have to also understand the mastery. So in the mastery aspect, you fully understand what marketing is. Then we also have the top 10 things you use for marketing. And then the top 10 mistakes people make when marketing their book. All of these things are so intercombined. And I will admit, unfortunately, there are times that some of it is repetitive in some of the books you'll read in the top 10 series, but that's because it's so critical. We want to make sure you understand every single aspect throughout each process of the book. Because if you don't, you're not going to be as successful as you potentially can be.
Well, you're right. I think the marketing aspect, and that's another thing. Alan, he has all this wisdom, and he has all this great expertise, but he's such a wonderful person in that he's willing to share it and help us learn from him. And the conferences I've been to, the contests I've been involved with, have only made me enhance my writing career. So I just feel so privileged to have Alan on the show today. But for people out there to know about him, to know about these books, and to know how you can really be ahead of the game if you prepare yourself correctly and get these books and read them. So also there's a free book available here. Talk to us real quick about that, Alan, real quick about this free book.
Sure. As you're saying, I've been doing this for so many years that I love helping authors succeed. So on my website, bourgeoismedia.com, any author can go to the website, go to the free book link, and choose any one of these top 10 series books and get it for free as an ebook. No strings attached. All they have to do is fill out the form. We'll send them the ebook that they asked for, and that's it. They can enjoy it and learn from it and grow from it. And of course, they'll love it so much that they'll buy all the others. But yeah, it's something very easy and simple to do for any author who wants to become more successful.
Yeah, wow. Even gives away a free book. How's that? I mean, this guy is just amazing. Okay, well, I believe we have to take a break right now. Is that right? And then we'll be back.
As an author, it's important to find an organization that can provide the resources and support you need to succeed in the publishing industry. The Authors School of Business, ASB, is a well-respected organization that has been helping authors learn how to market and sell themselves and their books since 2011. Here are a few reasons why you should consider joining ASB instead of another organization. 1. Expertise and experience. 2. Comprehensive education. 3. Customized learning options. 4. Community and networking. 5. Cost-effective and flexible membership options. ASB is an excellent choice for authors who want to succeed in the publishing industry. By joining ASB, you can benefit from the organization's expertise and experience, receive comprehensive education, customize your learning experience, connect with a supportive community, and enjoy flexible and cost-effective membership options.
The garden was still there, full of vegetables and flowers, and a little lone rabbit sat nibbling on a pea plant. Coney picked, chopped, and cooked some cabbage. Chop, chop, chop. And Coda picked 2 carrots and cut them into pieces. I'm so happy to have a new friend. The end. Wasn't that fun?
Yeah!
Welcome back to the ASB Author Showcase with your hostess, Mary Ann Faremouth.
Welcome back to this episode of the Author Showcase. Today we're featuring B Alan Bourgeois, and we're talking about his top 10 successful series of his books. And Alan, one of the books that you have is about talking about the top 10 advantages indie authors have over traditional authors. And I think that goes against what most people think. Most people think you have to go with a big publishing house to be successful. I'm an indie author. I don't believe that, but give us some reasons you think that indie authors can be even more successful than the big publishing house authors.
Sure. So, most definitely, indie authors can be more successful in a lot of different ways. Having more control over their work is most important. There are, of course, some hindrances. With a traditional publisher, they already have their built-in editors, their built-in graphic artists, and stuff like that. And those are the things that an indie author is going to have to go and look for. As an indie author, you can go through the hybrid process, which basically is you're coming to a company and saying, I need this, this, and this, and I'll pay this, this, and this. They'll do that. They'll put it under their name to help promote it. Some people like that because they have everything available to them. Some people don't. Some people like to do the exploring to find out, who's what and stuff. Even with our Author School of Business, we have a directory of all of those things you need to get your book published, including the graphic artists, the editors, and stuff. The thing about this is showing the different aspects. Some authors, they don't want to deal with any of this stuff other than writing their books, and that's perfectly okay. Some authors love to have more control. I know a lot of traditional authors have gone, given their books over, and when the product is done, they're not happy with it because the cover's not quite what they were thinking it should be, or the editing was just a little too much and put the storyline in a different concept than they wanted. So it really comes down to the individual author. What is it your message is about, what's your story about, and how you want to control it. If you don't want to, traditional, perfect. If you want that control, then the self-publishing indie author aspect is exactly what you need. Become an authorpreneur and move forward. You can earn more money that way, and it also takes more work. So it really, there's give and takes, and that's what this book really, illustrates. This is what traditional is. This is what indie is. Here's the pros and cons, and you go forward.
Okay, great. Now, Alan, if people want to pick up these books, do they have to buy them in a series, or they buy one at a time? Or they could start off with the free book, but how are they sold? So where do they go to get them? They go to your website or what?
Sure, they can, of course, go to bourgeoismedia.com, get that free ebook, but it's available at all of the bookstore outlets. They're listed as part of the top 10 series. So you could tag in like Amazon top 10 series, and then my name, B Alan Bourgeois, and all the books will pop up. Same with Barnes & Noble, same with all the ebook systems. Even your libraries can find them that way, or you can look for them individually. And of course, then you can go to my website to get all the individual names if you're looking for a specific book. And of course, on my website does explain what each of the books are, and it does have a link to the bookstore so you can purchase them and stuff like that. And of course, we'd love for you to purchase them from us because, it gives us more money to help other authors and stuff like that. So there's lots of ways to get the book.
All right. Well, we're nearing the end here of this interview. And thank you, Alan, so much for spending time with us today and taking time away from all the great things that you do for so many to be on the show today. But I wanted to say one more time, if people are out there listening, if you're an author already or you're thinking about becoming one, pick up these books. Anything that Alan does is always so helpful and so well done. And again, I'm proud to have him on the show because I personally worked with him. And because of him and his information, his training, it's helped me become even a better author and a better writer. So also he has so many other things that he offers, Authors Marketing International, Author School of Business, contests, seminars. There's just a myriad of things that come in his bailiwick of what he does for authors. So again, this is B Alan Bourgeois. Today we've talked about the top 10 book series. And give us those websites real quick again, Alan, of where they can find these.
Sure. So, of course, on my website, bourgeoismedia.com, they can go and get the free ebook and also see all the other books that are available. And understand that we've only talked about the first half of the group. In the second half of this show, we'll talk about the other group of books and give you a better understanding of what's available and stuff. But, of course, they're available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, all your favorite bookstores, indies as well. So they're all available.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll let them all know when our next interview comes out about the rest of these fine books. And again, thank you, Alan. It's been my pleasure to have the honor and privilege to have you on the show today. And thanks again so much for what you do for all the authors out there and the wannabe ones as well. Take care. Thank you. Bye-bye. See y'all next time.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching or listening to the ASB Author Showcase, spotlighting authors from around the world. ASB Author Showcase is produced by Author School of Business, an author-owned organization helping authors to fully understand the business side of being an author. If you would like to be on the show or to be a sponsor of the show, simply email us at authorschool@outlook.com. Thank you to Happy Follows for creating the music, Frolic of Words, for the ASB Author Showcase. You can find his music on all major platforms